You feel like you've had some really good practice sessions. You might have hit a lot of golf balls. Next time you go out, it doesn't seem to transfer. What I want to talk about today is some of the things that you can do in practice that are going to help you make that work that you've done with your coach or the practice that you're putting in actually transfer and create a learning and a change in your golf. Hi, I'm Peter Knight. I've created this channel, Peter Knight Golf, to help you become the best golfer you possibly can be. And if you hit the subscribe button, you subscribe to the channel and also click the grey bell-shaped notification icon, and then you'll get every video that I send out. So let's talk today about practice and some of the mistakes that a lot of players make when they practice. The first is that they think that the more practice they do, the better off they're going to be. Now, there's no question that you need to practice in order to improve. But there's also a lot of wasted practice. So for example, if we consider a player who has a pile of balls in front of them, 100 golf balls or even more sometimes. After the first few shots, where the focus might be on making sure that alignment is correct, players holding the club correctly and standing with good posture, there might be a swing thought, and so you're really focused on getting those things right for the first couple of swings. After you've done that a couple of times, your attention will tend to drop, your focus will drop. And then subsequent shots really become an exercise in exercise. So you're making the movements, there's sort of some half-hearted thought about what you're actually trying to get out of it, but really not achieving a whole lot. So here's a suggestion. Instead of that pile of golf balls in front of you, think of playing your shots in sets. So now that could be a set of 3 shots or 5 shots where you might have a single focus. At the end of those 3 to 5 shots, stop just for a moment and reflect on what you've done. Not necessarily how well those shots have been struck, although it's very difficult to avoid thinking about that, but more so, how was my attention on whatever it is that you're focusing on? So if it's your grip, was I holding the club the way that I should be holding it, the way I know I should be holding it for each of those shots? Did I take my hands off the club completely between shots and then re-grip with my attention on having my hands placed correctly? With any change, it's going to take time for that change to take effect. A grip is no exception. In fact, a grip may be one of the things that takes the longest. Holding the club correctly has the hands in an unnatural position, so it is going to take some time. And so having your attention focused on the key points to holding the club correctly is going to make a magnificent difference. So when you set yourself up, hit a few shots, stop, reflect on how well you did, remind yourself again of what that focus is. You already know what it is, but there's like a gentle reminder. And then take your time between shots as well. And that is regardless of the shots. So if you're looking to learn something, the quality, this is another point about it, the quality of the shots that you hit is not necessarily a reflection on how that learning's going. Because there are minor changes in the very fine tuning that you're going to be doing with your swing, which enable you to strike the ball. We're talking millisecond differences in timing, which you will get through hitting shots. But the key thing is to create the movement that you know is correct. So if you have drills and things that your coach has given you, focus on performing the drill correctly, not necessarily getting the right result from that drill, but performing the drill correctly. And you'll find that the benefit of shots is going to be hugely different, maybe not in that first practice session, but in subsequent practice sessions, it'll seem so much easier. The final thing is distributing your practice across a week. So let's say you have 1 day a week, and in that week, in that practice session, you're going to hit, say, 200 balls. And you sort of think, that's a lot of balls, I'll get a really good session in. You have got a good session in, time-wise. You've certainly invested in hitting a lot of golf balls. You will have got fatigued fairly quickly because hitting 200 full shots is the equivalent to probably playing about 5 games or 4 games on average, depending on what your score is. 4 games worth of full shots. If, on the other hand, let's say you had 4 opportunities a week to practice and you hit 25 balls at each of those sessions. So your total weekly load is 100 shots. Because you've only got 25 balls per session, it's likely that you will actually attend to those 25 balls much better. And if we go back to the first point I made, think of those 25 shots as being 5 sets of 5. So you're breaking that down even further. If you create your practice session like that, record your results and go for frequency rather than total quantity, you'll find that the learning that you're getting and the transfer of learning from lessons and from practice sessions is going to be vastly different to any other form of practice.